They only have one competition left, Jeremy, the Gunners, just this one to fight for. I don't think anyone's going to say they're going to overtake Manchester City to win the title, but getting that fourth spot could be crucial for them moving forward. But how concerning is their squad depth, considering the amount of players they lost and the lack of players they brought in? I mean, how would you rate their January transfer window? Because before you give your answer, a little reminder, they did spend heavily last summer. So they did reinforce in significant amounts of cash splashed.
Yeah, I think you can see it both ways. Obviously, there's only one competition left, so there's not going to be game every 2-3 days. You know, when you're playing Champions League and Cup game, and you know, so having a big squad then is it really important, because you should not really get many injuries or tiredness or all that kind of stuff. Now I know we're getting close to the end of the season, but maybe it's a good thing that they actually got a smaller squad, and then so everybody knows that they can come in and play. You know, he's got his starting 11. For me, it's good enough to get in the top 4 at the moment, even if, you know, today might have not been the best finish, but we know the red card didn't help. So obviously the transfer window, we always want to see a top player joining your club and the club spending money. Me, you know, for pure business side of it, I thought the Aubameyang, letting Aubameyang leave on the free was obviously, you know, poor business, because I just thought they could have done things differently to try to get a fee, you know, get a transfer fee, get a bit of money back for the club. Obviously, it was not gonna meant to be, and they had to let him go on the free. But I don't know. I just feel, you know, having that starting 11. I know sometimes you rely on people coming off the bench. Still got Smith Rowe that came on today. He's a top player that come off the bench. You know, having maybe another 1 or 2 might have been good, but I think they've got enough to finish in the top 4.
Matt, as a business model, what do you think of Arsenal and how they've gone about their business in recent memory? Because the club have really shown a backing right now to Mikel Arteta. He says he doesn't want Mesut Ozil there. They freeze him out of the squad. Now, he stayed around a lot longer than Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has done, from not playing for Arsenal to leaving the club. Ozil was there for an absolute age, on a fortune, an absolute fortune. And he was bought for a lot of money as well. If you look at some of the transfers which have been outgoing, they cost a lot of money. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Mesut Ozil. Don't forget, Shkodran Mustafi was close to £40 million when they signed him, and he left. On top of that, other players like Ramsey and Wilshere all going for nothing. The amount of money they spent on the players who have now gone, it's huge, and it's not a good business model, particularly when you look at a club like Liverpool, who are able to sell players who aren't in their starting 11 and make a lot of money from them, close to £100 million, the likes of Jordan Ibe and all of that. And it's a sustainable model, far more sustainable.
Well, I think the fact that whenever Arteta's been through a sort of a sticky spell, and let's be honest, there's been a few times that in the media you thought maybe there was pressure on him, he might go. You can see, no, actually Arsenal are sticking. They're going to back Mikel Arteta, like you said. They've let some big hitters go, some big characters go. It's cost them money. He's bringing young players through. Be interesting to see how the Eddie Nketiah situation plays out, because I think that's a situation that's been poor, that have let him run his contract down, and now he might be leaving for a minimal sort of price. So I think that if you, even the fringe sort of players, like you talked about Liverpool's business model, where they sold Rhian Brewster for all that money, even though he didn't really play at Liverpool, and Jordan Ibe back in the day, you look at how many players have left Chelsea, Manchester City, not played there, but been sold for big money because they've gone on the loan, they've protected them with contracts. So I think Arsenal are looking at it, they've got to learn from it. I still feel the likes of the way that Martinelli's come to the levels he has, Smith Rowe, Saka, even they haven't cost money, but they are like big signings. They're absolutely awesome. So I think that Mikel Arteta definitely has a plan. They've got to stick with it. And I think Liverpool took a little bit of time, that transition, and they stuck with Jurgen Klopp, and now look what they're doing. So I feel in this window, if the right players weren't there for the right price, and like Jeremy said, they haven't got all the competition to compete with. You know, I think Tommy Asu's been a good sign, and he's going to come back in. So from the outside looking in, I think they'll be working towards some targets. But they've got Turner, the goalkeeper from the MLS, to come in. So I imagine Leno will move on. So that should free up some money. Ramsdale's work. So as long as they're identifying good targets now, if they can get in the top 4, that will allow them to attract that next level as well. Then I think the plan's working. So at this moment in time, the fact that Arsenal's so close to the top 4, I think Mikel Arteta is doing a good job. And I can also see an identity to how they're playing on the pitch. And I think that is massive as well. So I think Arsenal are going in the right direction.
Jeremy, before we move on, another follow-up question on this topic. When it comes to Mikel Arteta, I remember early doors, he said his non-negotiables, and he's very firm. Can a manager be sometimes too firm? Don't they have to have an occasional softer touch when it comes to certain scenarios? Because how long will the board continue to back him with his decisions like this? They've lost a lot of money. Reports say they're actually going to be paying part of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's salary even now till the end of the season. Although they have saved money in the long run due to the length of his contract. Because supposing they don't get the top 4, supposing they don't get even Europa League and then the Conference League, if they were to finish in that position, it's not going to look very good for Arteta.
No, it's not going to look good at all. To be honest with you, now for me, in my mind, it's top 4 or nothing really.
Top 4, top 4. So Champions League or nothing for you.
It has to be Champions League. You know, you just didn't make the Europa League for this season. You haven't had Europe this season. So for me, it was a step backwards, right? So if you have a step backwards, it's to really go full on to finish in the top 4 the year after. You can't blame it on we haven't got enough quality in the squad. You haven't got as many games, so you can't keep having more and more player and play less and less game. So at some point, you know, you see he's ruthless in some decision that he makes about I don't want Ozil, I don't want Aubameyang, let's get rid of them. Fine, let's get rid of them. Then he's got to be ruthless with contract situation. When there's 2 years left on your contract, you need to sign a new deal. You don't want to sign a new deal? No problem. You're up for sale, because that means you don't want to be part of the next few years. Yeah, if you don't want to sign a new deal when there's only 2 years, 18 months left on your contract, as a player, you start thinking about maybe I can leave on the free, and that's not good for the club. They've done it too many times, and they're still not learning the lesson. You know, they're still making the same mistake. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they've lost £195 million on player they've bought and left on the free. It's just crazy, you know. And then so you've got to be ruthless in every way. If that's your mentality and that's how you want to be, hard with every player, everybody's the same. There's no favoritism to any name, which personally I don't think that's the right mentality, because I think every player needs different stuff to perform. You know, we can discuss about the Ozil situation. Whatever happened with Ozil, I still think Ozil is a top player. He was a world-class player, and I think if you knew or found out what he needed to perform, you would have had a fantastic player. But that's where the role of management is. You know, that's where your role is. What do you need to do to get your top player to perform? And that's what a top manager does. You know, is find a way, whatever way it is. I'm not a manager, but whatever the way it is, that's why you get paid all that money, is to get them top player to perform and want to fight for you and for the club.